Hello and welcome to Weekend TV Watching with Mz.ChiGurl. I'm your host, Mz.ChiGurl. Hi, how you guys doing? I know I'm supposed to do this on Thursday or Fridays leading to the weekend as opposed to after the weekend, but it just didn't happen. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back on track with all of this, but it's like I just don't be feeling the vibes. And so I have to do this when I'm feeling the vibes. I'm going to try and keep to a schedule, yes, but the vibes weren't working for me on my schedule. So I have to do it when I feel it. So here you are getting my video after the weekend. As you can see, I went back to my weekend TV watching graphics because you guys are just not feeling, or at least it doesn't seem like you were feeling the silver screens and city scenes, what's happening in on streaming in Chicago. And so I made an executive decision that I was going to go back to weekend TV watching because I like that graphic more because it reminds me, is more nostalgic of the 80s to me. And it reminds me honestly of Friday night videos. If you are my like core audience people, then you should know what Friday night videos are. I mean, this video and my content is typically for the 50 plus. If you're not 50 plus, you're still welcome, but I'm just telling you that sometimes you may not get my references because you got to be a Gen Xer. I'm sorry. Anyway, I used to love watching Friday night videos. And it's a shame speaking about that because MTV just retired. I want to say last month, but they say 40 years. Like dang. I mean, that was my whole childhood. I don't know what my childhood would have looked like without music videos. That was really how I got into various types of music other than, let's say, R&B, you know. I was able to get into rock and metal rock and just well, pop too. But I mean, I was into kind of into pop and R&B already. But I like I remember when what's the name of that group? They did One a Dead or Alive was Bon Jovi. That's it. I wouldn't have known anything about no doggone Bon Jovi if it hadn't been for music videos and them playing it, on those different channels. But que sera, sera. What is there to say? So, before I get started, don't forget to like and um, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Don't forget to leave comments. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your thoughts about the things that I'm going to be covering. And just some interaction so that we can keep this going, guys. So let's get started. I'm gonna talk about the stuff that I've actually watched this past week. Um, the first one I'm gonna go over is All Her Fault, which is a series that's on Peacock. I want to say it's a limited series. I am getting so irritated. This series is getting a lot of traction in social media and people are loving it. I did not like that series like that. I'm sorry. So I guess I gotta go against the grain. I just didn't think that the writing was really that great for it to get all the hubbub it's getting. And so it's just irritating me. And so I just wanted to give my perspective that I'm one of the few people who didn't like it. And spoiler alert, I'm not gonna like give you too much, but I'm just gonna say the name of it is called All Her Fault. I'm just gonna say it's all his fault. It's always all his fault. It's not her fault. It's his fault. That's all I'm gonna say. other thing that I watched, and I was like, maybe I don't know, I'm becoming a cynic or a pessimist. Like, I tried to give you guys good vibes, but I watched the movie Frankenstein that's on Netflix. Hated it. You guys remember that? Now you really in my age group, if you remember that. But I hated it. I was like, why did it even need a redo? They've done Frankenstein movies so much, it's ridiculous. And I didn't think it needed to be messed with. I don't understand why Jacob, what's his name, Elordi, was, like he's in a position to get nominated for an Oscar for that role. I'm like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? That movie was not all that. And I mean, even though they did take a different, let's say, road than the previous, Frankenstein movies. I mean, it's still, Mary Shelley, but I didn't think it was all that. I mean, honestly, that one character that played Frankenstein, he irked the hell out of me. He truly did. And so, if you want to say anything, he was acting because I really did dislike Dr. Frankenstein. But the movie wasn't enough where I would recommend watching it to me. But apparently, like I said, Jacob Elordi, who rose to fame on that TV show Euphoria, that is coming back for its final season, which it doesn't need. I mean, the show hasn't been on what for 3-4 years. It's just like trying to bring back P Valley at this point. There's been too much of time that has gone by. You know what? I'm a hypocrite for saying that because they're about to bring back a show that I actually did like. That was from before the pandemic. The last time it aired on Netflix was in 2019. It's called Mindhunters. And I love that show. It actually shows how the FBI developed profiles on, they called them multiple killers at one point, and then eventually they coined the term serial killers. And it's where they actually started talking to all the serial killers who were locked up and caught and everything in jail, and developing profiles of what can cause them to snap, if you will. And, how, of course, how upbringing, genetics, and, environment all play a part in it. And so it was a very, very good show. If you want to, I would say go back and watch that on Netflix because they're about to do, I want to say in December or January, they're going to do a, let's say, a closure. They, instead of doing a season, because it was a TV series, they're going to do a movie, and they're going to do, I want to say, a 2-part movie, so maybe 4 hours to wrap up the show, to show how the FBI created the profiles they did on serial killers. Speaking of which, oh my God, in October, all the streaming services had some kind of killer show that I was watching. I was engrossed. That's all I did. And I actually wanted to do a review on it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do a review because there's so much information. But it was so intriguing to see the back history on these serial killers. Like my first introduction to serial killers and like, the profile of it, if you will, is the movie Copycat that came out with Sigourney Weaver, Holly Hunter, and Dermot Mulroney. I want to say it came out in 1997. And that movie was so smart and modern. I loved it. Long story short, it talks about all the serial killers that were in Mindhunter. But I don't recall them talking about this one that came on Netflix, which was the Ed Gein story, or Ryan Murphy's Monster series, where he's doing each serial killer. He started with Dahmer. Now, Dahmer happened while I was a teenager, and that I got to see that trial with the introduction of Court TV. So that was like the first time I ever got to see a court case and see all the stuff that was going on and hear all the details. I actually got into court TV because of Dahmer, but that I haven't watched it since then. I mean, but I used to watch it back then. I remember I watched the whole thing. But what's his name? Patrick Kennedy. Anyway, that's another story. But my point is that I didn't know that the Ed Gein story inspired two movies that you guys probably have heard of. One of them being Psycho, and two being the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They were all inspired by the Ed Gein story, and so it was a very interesting series. Like, I loved what Ryan Murphy did with Dahmer. That was a great series. There was a lot of what's the I can't scuttlebutt. That's it. A lot of scuttlebutt when the Dahmer series came out. I want to say it was because they felt that the wounds hadn't healed with the families that were impacted by what he did, and I think that the money there was no money that went to the victims' families or something to that effect. But I really enjoyed that series. And then the next year, they did Monsters, the Menendez brothers. I'm trying to think if I watched it. So there were two Menendez series that came out. Whichever one it was, I couldn't finish it, and then I didn't want to see the other one because the first one I watched, it tainted me, so I didn't even want to hear the story. So, whichever Menendez story I started with, I didn't finish it, and that was just the end of it. So then this year they did Ed Gein, and like I said, if you haven't already watched it on Netflix, go ahead and check it out. Then the next story that came out was about what is his name? So the movie that just came out about John Wayne Gacy was called Devil in Disguise. John Wayne Gacy. That was actually an interesting movie as well. The actor who played John Wayne Gacy, I think he did a great job. He should at least get a what's it called, a Golden Globe nomination for his role in that series. He did a very good job, and it was very engaging. And I loved hearing the whole story because even though those murders took place while I was alive, I was a minor child, so I really didn't know anything about what had happened, and it really kind of ticked me off that the Chicago PD allegedly didn't look into it the way they should have, just because it may have had homosexual undertones as far as the people that he was killing and the victims. I really was pissed off about that. Anyway, what else did I watch? So I watched Ed Gein. I watched John Wayne Gacy. Oh, I tried to watch the new Murdaugh movie that came out on Hulu, the Murders, but I watched all those documentaries on Netflix, and those were really good. Because it initially started about the youngest son accidentally killing, one of his classmates, girlfriend, somebody, and how the town covered it up, and then later on, it became about his father and his father killing him and his wife. And this is recently happened. I want to say last year or 2 years ago, and he just got convicted of murder of his son and wife, and it's just so crazy, the whole story. And so I tried to watch the movie or series rather on Hulu, but me watching the documentary so recently, I was not feeling it, and so I haven't even finished watching it. Um, I just wanted to talk to you another thing about another documentary that I watched. I love watching documentaries as well as just intriguing stories sometimes. And so one is being Eddie Murphy. So Eddie Murphy actually did a documentary on Netflix that you can watch it now. and it's about 90 minutes, and it just talks about his rise to fame and his career. It talks a little bit about his personal, not so much, but I think it was a very interesting story, and it was also interesting for me to find out that he never engaged or indulged in smoking or drinking, and or necessarily drugs. He did admit to doing marijuana, but not until his 30s. But I thought that was really interesting, especially with his star being as big as it was. And then it's also interesting to me that even though they didn't talk about it in the documentary, he really hasn't been involved in any or too much controversy. I can only think of two things. One was when he picked up a transsexual or transgender prostitute, and then his denial of fathering a child with Mel B, that did turn out to be his. So those are the only two things I remember about ever being like bad press for Eddie Murphy. Otherwise, he's pretty much kept his nose clean, for somebody who's as he's an A-list actor. And I like the fact that, um that he's never like he kept the what do I want to say? He kept the image of a black person clean, if you will. But I mean, a lot of good it did, especially nowadays. I mean, if you guys have been seeing, I mean, I don't condone this and I don't necessarily want to get into it, but this Krishan and Blueface and Hazel E crap, all the people in the past, tried to keep the black people's like image up so that, others wouldn't see us as uncouth people that they thought we were. And, all of that stuff is just out now. But, everybody is. I mean, look, the president is uncouth. I'm sorry. But hearing about, the stuff that's coming out about him possibly um, having oral relations with a former president, that's like crazy. I never in my life thought I would hear some nonsense, some crazy nonsense like that about what's supposed to be a prestigious field like politics and politicians. We know they're liars and cheats, but the stuff that's coming out now is like crazy. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So just so you guys know, The Conjuring, that was something that I kind of binge watched because the new Conjuring movie came out, The Conjuring Last Rites, and it's actually going to be available for streaming. I forgot which one it's going to be on. It's going to be free because right now I think you can stream it on Amazon Prime for maybe 19.99, but I think it might be HBO Max. I'm not sure. If it's not HBO Max, it might be Netflix. Anyway, in anticipation for that, I had to get caught up on all the Conjuring universe. And so the month of October, I watched all the Conjuring stuff. So I watched all three Conjuring movies that have already come out. I watched the Nun movies, and then I watched I want to say it's four Annabelle movies. And it's funny because I did binge watch it, and that's why I like to binge watch. I was able to see that there was an issue with how Annabelle was created. So they told you Annabelle was created one way in the first Annabelle movie. Then in the movie that came after it, which is called Annabelle Creation, she's created another way. And so they're supposed to be connecting it, but then they didn't connect how she was created. But anyway, that's just a little something I noticed. And I was like, wow, see, you guys couldn't even keep it together. If you're into all of that, the new Conjuring movie will be on streaming and maybe we can talk about it together. The last thing I wanted to talk to as far as on the movie front is the movie Weapons. I watched that movie too. Now that one at first, I didn't understand why it was so good. and I actually gave it a low rating the first time I watched it. But it came on HBO Max, which is where you can watch it now. And after giving it a second watch, I was like, this movie actually wasn't that bad, and it was actually intriguing. And you know what? I know why I thought I'd give it another watch is because they've already greenlit a prequel to the movie Weapons about the auntie in that movie. So if you watch the movie, you know, you know. So I'm not going to give you any more details about that. But Weapons was a decent movie, and so I can't wait for the prequel to see how it really began because I feel like Weapons is the middle. It is not the beginning at all. And so that's why they needed to do a prequel. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And like I said, you know, I want to hear your comments. Give me your feedback. I want to hear what you guys think as well. So let me know. Hello. Let's talk about what's going on around town. So I've been looking around and I found a few things that I thought were interesting that are coming up in December. So the first thing I thought was interesting is that with all the things that are going on in the world, and we've talked about this, and it seems like the unemployment numbers have specifically hit Black women the hardest as far as unemployment rates. And so there's a lot of Black women healing events going around. One is from, I saw on Instagram, a site called Black Women Healing Retreats. That's actually the name of the page. And that's the name of, I guess, a group of trips that she's, whoever this person is hosting. It's called Caribbean of Costa Rica, and they're planning on trips May 23rd through the 29th in 2026, June 22nd through the 28th, October 5th through the 11th, and November 5th through the 11th of 2026. It says Black Women Healing Retreats, the first retreat created for Black women and the first to place retreats on the global map, was born from a desire to reconnect Black women with nature, healing, and community. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, I will post the link in the description of this video. The next thing I saw, which is coming up in December, is called Black Women in Color Presents Waiting to Exhale Girls Night. It's going to be December 13th through the 14th at the Hyatt Lodge in Oak Brook, Illinois. So if you're interested in that, I can post that as well. The website on Instagram is Dr. Long Listens, and I guess you could follow her as well as it seems like it's two sites, and I believe the other site is Black Women in Color. And you can get this information as well. But again, this is another situation where I'll be posting the information in the description. Next, that I found interesting, I said, I wonder how this would actually be. So, the City Winery is hosting a hip hop and R&B bingo with Tom Swoop. Now, I don't know who Tom Swoop is. There's going to be two shows on December 13th. So, it's the same day as that Wait and Exhale retreat. So, you could decide, do you want to go to Oak Brook or do you want to go to the West Loop and go to the City Winery and try hip hop and R&B bingo? I do think that sounds like something interesting that you could do that's kind of maybe low key. I'm not sure how much tickets are. You can go to the City Winery, Chicago.com, I believe, to get the information. But I will post that link as well in the description. But this one I really thought was interesting. If you like to follow if you like to follow politics, and you want a little laughter or levity in it, there's going to be a DL and DL Anything Goes with Don Lemon and DL Hughley. And it's going to be at the City Winery on December 10th. So if you're interested in hearing, and now really, I mean, in case you don't know, if you don't follow these two, then, you know, this isn't for you. But these two are definitely, I would say, liberal. And they're going to be they're going to probably be down in Trump and putting him down in his administration and everything going on in the government right now. So, if you'd like to hear a fun perspective on politics right now and what's going on with the Dems and the Republicans, hey, check out this show. It's going to be at the City Winery. I'm sorry. I'm trying to drink cinnamon tea. It's supposed to be good for you or whatever. So I'm trying to get into that. Oh, I have something that I didn't talk about that was around town. It's called the Great Big Game Show. And it's something to do outside of eating and drinking in Chicago. It's where you can play all of these like game show type of events, and you're going against strangers. It would be great if you like go with a group of friends, and then you're going against another group of friends, that kind of thing, like a Family Feud situation or maybe a Wheel of Fortune. I'm not sure of all the games that they have, but it sounds like something for an alternative of events, especially I think with the holidays coming up, that it reminds me of something that would be fun if you wanted to, gather with your family and find something to do fun and as interesting and different. I'll have the details for that as well in my description. Um, what else was I trying to tell you about? A few things that are coming on the forefront as far as interesting shows. So there's going to be a series called Crystal Lake that's coming out on Peacock. That's supposed to be a prequel to the Friday the 13th series, or sequels. There's a It prequel that's on HBO Max. I haven't watched it yet. I like to binge watch, and so I saw that the last episode, I believe, is supposed to be on December 15th. So you can expect me to review that probably the end of December or in January. The Mummy 4 is coming out, or is in progress right now, and it's going to have its original cast. If you're into the Mummy movies that came out starting in '99 with Brendan Fraser and what's the name of that woman? She's married to James Bond. Anyway, she's coming back. She didn't participate in the Mummy 3 and it suffered. I really felt it was disconnected from the other two movies that she did participate in. And so I'm glad that she's coming back for the Mummy 4, and I'm hoping that it's going to be really good. Also, as far as TV, we have 13 Ghosts. I don't know if you guys remember this. I want to say this movie came out like in the early 2000s when they were doing all of those like haunted house ghost type movies. Like they did a reboot of, what is it, the House on Haunted Hill or something to that extent. Anyway, 13 Ghosts, I remember it starred Rod Digger, not starred, but she was in it. And she played a nanny. They're gonna turn it into a series that's supposed to be coming out. And then as far as on the concert circuit, have you guys, or were you guys at that Monica and Brandy concert? I heard that she didn't feel well and left early, and they didn't even perform the boys mine. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like you got gypped because they're doing it in other cities? I mean, I know she can't help. She's getting older and she didn't feel well. And I heard like her costumes are like massive. And so they said she probably had heat exhaustion or something to that extent. What do you guys think? My thing is this new news about Tony Braxton, new edition of Boys to Men having a concert. Are you guys going to go to that? Because they're going to be coming to our town. Let me see. When did it say they were coming to town? February 4th. Oh my God. I would go to that concert, and I think that's why I didn't purchase my tickets when they went on sale. It's too close to my mom's birthday, and my mom is going to be 80 next year, guys. And so I'm trying to organize a birthday for her, but like a destination birthday. So I did a birthday party for my mom when she turned 65, and that happened to be the year that it snowed so much that it shut down Lakeshore Drive. And I had all these party plans and food and everything, and people had to cancel because of the snow, and I got stuck with all this food. And so I said, nope, we're not doing that again, because I must say, with the exception of last year, every birthday has been a snow issue. So what we decided to do is since we have family in Texas, and we haven't seen them in a while, we were going to take a trip to Texas to, do her birthday. Only problem with that is my doggone health issues. And so my health issues have kind of not resolved themselves. And so I may have to have another procedure. And if I'm having another procedure, I don't know if I'll be recuperated enough in February to do my mom's birthday thing. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But anyway, I want to know, are you guys planning to see it? I think it would be a good concert, but I'm just like surprised that Tony is going to be a part of it because she was just doing the Braxtons. Like, are you guys watching the Braxtons? Or she's talking about she has a residency in Las Vegas, and that she did a show in Miami, and that was a lot for her because of her health issues. And so I'm like, now she's about to do all this touring. I mean, this is a massive tour. I'm really surprised that she's going to be doing this tour. And maybe she's only going to plan on doing like a melody of all her songs. You're not going to get each song. I don't know. But are you guys going to go see it? I mean, like I said, if they weren't coming to Chicago February 4th, I definitely would go. But tell me what you guys think. Are you going to try and go to the New Edition, Boys to Men, and Tony Braxton show? Okay. As far as anything else, here's something that I needed to talk to you guys about. So, just so you're aware, if you're a movie aficionado or you love checking out the latest in films, Robert Townsend, you guys remember him? Hollywood Shuffle, the five heartbeats, and he did that TV show Parenthood. Well, he's going to have a pop up film festival and stand up comedy show on December 7th at the Comedy Bar. That's 162 East Superior Street in Chicago. It's going to be hosted by Laurel Howard and Leroyce Hawkins. Now, I don't know Leroyce Hawkins, but you know Laurel, he was in Get Out. He played the TSA agent. Also, they plan to have somebody named Jess Niche, Barry Brewer, and Calvin Evans. And it says tickets are available on Event Noir. It's being sponsored by the NAACP and Columbia College. So, if you're interested, I will put the information in my description, as I always keep saying. Did you guys hear about the mass economic blackout that they're planning? It's supposed to be November 25th through December 2nd. It's supposed to be the largest economic blackout protest in history. There's not supposed to be any spending, no events, no restaurants, no backing out. Prepare for this impact. And so I want to know. So they also have a cheat sheet. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Are you guys planning to participate? Do you have any thoughts about that? Are you tired of these blackouts, or do you think they actually do make a difference in letting the everybody know that we're not going to stand for all this? This is the particular person that I saw the information from, but as you can see, it says mass economic blackout, November 25th of 2025 to December 2nd, 2025, the largest economic blackout protest in U.S. history. Then it says cheat sheet. Goals: starve national corporations of your revenue. Feed the community. Every dollar is your vote. Do: buy necessities only from small, local, black, or brown owned businesses first. Cook at home. Use what you already have. Shop farmers markets, co-ops, corner stores, and independent pharmacies. Support local services: barbers, nail techs, mechanics, bakers, bookstores. Buy secondhand, repair and reuse, share and swap. Use transit: walk, bike, and carpool. Spend time in nature. Declutter. Gift or sell unused items. Donate to mutual aid and local nonprofits. Bank with the community bank or credit unions. Unsubscribe from retail emails and push alerts. Track your impact. Keep local receipts. Skip impulse buys. Tell a friend. Community over convenience. Do the work. Do not, no Amazon, no Target, no Walmart, no national chains, no fast food from national brands. If you eat out, choose independent restaurants. No online shopping, no Prime Day deals, no app store purchases, no streaming rentals, no movie tickets, no national theater chains, no rideshare if a local taxi or transit option exists. No new gadgets, no new clothes, no new home decor. No buy now pay later. Ugh. No buy now pay later. No impulse credit card splurges. Drain them dry. So, what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is something that you'll be participating in? I am trying to do that. That is what my intent is. But not but I and I've been trying to stock up now on stuff that I think that I'll need because I am one of those. I mean, I love a good sale and everything. So we'll see what happens. I just want to know what everybody else thinks. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to me out of curiosity with Mz.ChiGurl. Don't forget to like the video. Like I said, you guys always want to call me and tell me this and that, but you don't like the video. You have to like the video. Thank you. Let me see. Was there anything else that I wanted to cover with you guys? What do you guys think about them getting rid of the penny? Is that going to impact you? It's so funny that I went to my son and I were out running errands and we stopped to get something to eat. And so when we were in the drive-thru picking up our food, the guy told us whatever, 13 something 41. And I said, "So what are you going to do if I don't have a penny?" And he was like, "Don't worry about it." And so I was like, "So what are we doing? What does this mean?" I don't know. I just want to know what you guys think about the loss of the penny. Is it really a loss? Is it going to cost us in the end because we're either going to have to round to the nearest five or what? Okay. Okay. Okay, so here are all the major movie releases that are coming out this November. So these have already come out. Icefall came out November 4th. I'd never heard about it. The Running Man, November 7th. I didn't hear anything about it. Predator Badlands, November 7th. I did hear about it, and I think I heard it wasn't too bad. I can't wait for it to come on streaming because I don't go to the movies anymore. Next is Now You Can See Me, Now You Don't, November 14th. I'm so tired of this, but you know what? The funny thing is, I've never not watched one of these, and I think this is number 4. So I'm just tired of them making these, even though I don't watch them. Um, the next one is Keeper. I don't even know what this is about. So that's coming out November 14th. And then Wicked for Good, November 21st. You know, this is, I get a lot of press. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And I want to say Michelle, is her name Lee? Something to that extent. Have been touring all over. And then they had that one little, what is he called? Fanatic jump Ariana Grande aggressively. Apparently, that's something he does. He jumped more people than Ariana. He did. I know The Weekend. I want to say, what's that woman's name? Kelly. Is her name Kelly? I can't think of her name. Dang. See, that's the menopause brain. Sorry. The Family Plan 2 is coming out November 21st. I haven't heard anything about this one. And The Things with Feathers, again, November 21st. We have a movie called Eternity. That's November 26th. So that's just in time for Thanksgiving. Zootopia 2, November 26th again. So you can have something to take the family to see. Hamnet, I haven't heard of this. This is November 26th as well. And then Wake Up, Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. I haven't heard about this, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually into the Knives Out series. I try and guess who the killer is in each one of those. You know, they had the first Knives Out, and then I didn't get it. But the second one I did figure it out. That was Knives Out, something about a onion or something. I forgot. Anyway, so this will be the third one. And that is it. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope this wasn't a waste of time. I hope you enjoy my videos, and I will see you probably for the weekend. All right. Bye.